Oh, you be with them steppers, huh? But you can't step with us. Niggas swear they certified steppers, but don't step enough. Oh, you be with them steppers, huh? But you can't step with us. Niggas swear they certified steppers, but don't step enough. Oh, you be with them steppers.
Are you tired of guys like him stealing your girl? Are you? That's good. That's real good. You came to the right podcast. But welcome to Certified Stepper Podcast. I'm your host, Smooth, and this is my co-host, KP.
Yo, what's up?
What's good, man?
Wait a minute, though. Hold on.
You ain't like this?
Nigga, I was happy to see you until where was you going with this? What you mean?
I'm trying to let them know, man.
Hey, what I said on the first episode.
You
Don't speak for me. No. How you feeling, man?
I'm feeling great. How you feeling, bro?
Man, I can't complain, bro. I'm blessed, bro. Like, we had our first episode, came out last week, and, we got some great feedback from it. So, us, we take that shit in stride. So I'm actually enjoying the process. I'm actually enjoying this whole thing. So, yeah, I'm feeling good, bro. I can't complain at all. Can't complain at all. But how you feeling, man? Talk to me about your mental. Talk to me about your headspace. We ain't chopped it up in a few days. I do want to hear about what I'm saying, how you been, how you been challenging yourself to get better. You know me, I'm all on that spiritual shit.
Man, I'm feeling great that we got the first episode over, and we on this one. This one should be better than the first since, the first one was just like, just getting it done.
Yeah, getting it out there.
We just gonna build on that one.
Getting it out there.
Keep on building.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can't take this smile off my motherfucking face. I ain't gonna lie to you. But I'm glad you in a great space, though, because I got some shit for you today. I really want to, because you know how we are. Like, we ain't two niggas that's sitting there discussing our topics and talking about, like, you and I, we meet for a quick minute and we chop it up about the idea of where we want to go with the next time we link up, but that's about it. And then our thoughts are our thoughts, right? So you have no idea where I'm coming at with this.
Come with it, man.
This shit. So just know that I'm finna take you there. Like, but the only reason why I'm doing it, just so you know, is like I had a thought a few days ago about your entanglement situation. We gonna call it. I mentioned it on the first episode, but I wanted to dive a little bit more into that. And the reason why I asked about your mental is because I wanted to make sure you was good enough to kind of go to that place, because I got some shit. I want to talk about, the entire process from, you had a chick that you met when you was 23, 24 that you was fucking with, right? And you went through your bullshit, whatever that may be. We gonna lay that on the table, and then y'all split up, and then boom, years later y'all reconnect on some shit, and it didn't end well for you, I'll say, right? So I kind of want to talk through that timeline. So I want to give you the flow right now to just kind of introduce that situation before I go into like my topics. You cool with that?
Yeah.
Let's rock with it. So I'm gonna hand it over to you to just kind of give the people. Catch them up to where we can really get into the meat and potatoes of this whole situation.
Well, I was around, I guess about my early 20s, met her in the club, and we fell in love, I say it like that. I was young, I wasn't ready for it, and I kept messing up. She gave me chance after chance, and I kept messing up, and she finally left.
Wait. So you met her in the club.
Yeah.
And then you said y'all fell in love. I'm like, how long was that little time frame though? Like was it like an instant connection? Like, was you like, damn, she fire?
Yeah, but to talk about that, I tried to holler like 4 times.
Okay, now we getting the truth. I'm about to say, don't act like you don't take no L. What's up?
When I talked to him about it, I tried to holler at her 4 times. I did, but I don't know if I was so fucked up. I thought she was a different chick, and I'm just hollering at a different chick every time. That
was back in your Jigga era?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I tried to holler at her like 4 times, weekend after weekend, and she finally gave me a number. We just blew off after that.
And so, okay. And then like you were saying like she gave you chance after chance. Like was it a situation where you was just like, I'm 24 years old, I'm on my savage shit. I'm about to rock.
That's what I was
so like what was, when you say chance after chance, like what the fuck you was doing?
Just messing with all kind of females, man.
You was a savage German that you talking about.
I was young, man. I had
had
the long hair, getting all kind of attention and shit, man.
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to be in no like relationship where I'm in love or nothing like that.
And so the breakup, like how did that breakup happen? Like when she finally, so I'm assuming not shit, because this part we never talked about, but like she got to the point where she had enough?
Yeah.
Okay, and how did that community, like It was just a quick like, man, fuck you, nigga, I'm off you. Straight.
She was like, I mean, I was hurt because I thought she was giving me another chance, and she was like, I don't love you no more.
Ooh.
You ever seen that Chris Brown meme where he asked, what his ex name was?
Rihanna?
No,
Karuchi.
Rihanna, Karuchi. And she was like, nah, I don't need no more. He's like, bitch, shut up. Like, you just
oh, with his hand back? That's how you felt?
yeah, that's how I felt. But when she told me that, like my heart just stopped, man. I was hurt in the motherfucking nigga.
Really?
I like probably the worst pain I ever felt.
Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, so where did that take you you know me. I need to know that mental. Where did that take you from a headspace standpoint?
Man, that put me in a bad, that's when my depression probably, that's like my lowest point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it was like that was when you were suppressing that shit to be like, I'm about to go ahead and be even more of a savage because I ain't trying to deal with this pain.
Yeah, I was still living in Louisiana, and like as soon as that happened, I was like, man, I gotta leave. Like I don't want to have no memory of her, because you know me being in Louisiana and people knowing how long we was together, like they would always ask me about her.
Yeah, and every time you get asked about it, it's a trigger, right?
Yeah.
That's as black men, bro, like we've mastered the art of suppressing shit, right? Like we automatically, we get to a point to where we at this high, right? Because you had this female where you was sitting on this high. Boom, I got this chick, and no matter, you felt, I bet you, I'm assuming you felt like, damn, she done forgave me once, twice, 3 times. That's how it's gonna be, right?
Yeah.
You'd already got that feeling, but then like she pulled that plug from you, and it's like, okay, how I deal with these emotions now that she's gone, and I got this feeling that I don't know how to deal with. All right, let me suppress that behind the alcohol. Let me suppress that behind the pills. Let me go fuck a bunch of hoes, right?
Yeah.
I can only imagine what you was going through. The only reason why I'm thinking in that space now is because like it took me later in life to get to that point, but I can relate, so I get that. Like to me, it was whenever I found out that reconnection happened, I'm like, word? Like, nigga, it's been about 10 years. Yeah. So like
8 to be exact.
It was 8 years? Yeah, like so y'all went on an 8-year hiatus where y'all didn't speak at all, right?
Well, nah, she would reach out like every so often.
Oh, so she was she in like a serious relationship at this point, or she hadn't had her serious relationship yet, and she was like just reaching out on some reconnection?
No, she was in a serious relationship.
And she was still just checking on you.
Yeah. But see, this is what I thought. I thought that, because you know I was dealing with the depression. I thought, and she knew about that, so I thought when she would reach out, she was just checking to see if I was all right.
Yeah, checking on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But when we reconnected, it was a whole different reason why.
Okay, so that's what I want to get to. Just talk to me about how that took place. That y'all went ghost for 8 years, and she would kind of tap in a little bit, but you was trying to forget her. And then at what point was you like okay with the reconnection, and how did that happen?
Well, when it first ended, I'd say maybe like a couple years after that, she tried to reach out, and I was like, that was the savage. I wasn't over it yet. So the savage Jeremy came out like
straight up. That was when me and you was in. We was in city to city in Louisiana cutting up. That was when y'all finally let me pull up with y'all. No.
This was in Houston.
Oh, okay, here. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, I remember the comment I told her. I was like, I don't know why the fuck you reached out to me. I don't want to be your fucking friend.
Oh, you went off?
Yeah, I just went off.
So that's that savage shit that you was talking about. You went completely off on her.
Yeah, I was like, I put it on a comment. She was in a relationship too. I still put it on.
You talking about in a comment in the post?
On Instagram, yeah. On a picture.
Oh yeah, you straight up went the fuck in.
I like, matter of fact, just you block me and I'll block you. Just keep that shit like that. I don't want to be your fucking friend.
Yeah, straight up.
I just told her straight like that.
Like that. At that moment, did you feel like you meant that shit then, or was it like, no,
I meant
you felt that shit? Like I'm standing on that right now. Okay.
But after that, the next day I was like, damn, what I said.
That's what I was trying to get to. I was like, we had that buyer's remorse when we go off on motherfuckers. It's like, should I have done that?
Yeah.
But yeah. And so like after that shit happened, you done went off on it. Y'all actually blocked each other?
I didn't block her.
Okay.
And I didn't even go check to see if she blocked me.
Yeah, it was just, all right. And then from there, how did it come back to where y'all was?
Then I think she reached out like on Snapchat, like, how long you been living in Houston? And I gave her like some dry ass answers. I like 3 years.
Yeah.
I ain't try to keep the conversation going. Yeah. So then I guess another year passed. She reached out again, and she was like, Hey, I think I seen your car somewhere in Houston.
Or one of them.
Yeah, one of them.
One of them,
Like,
okay.
I'm like, motherfucker, you ain't seen my car. But I was in a good space, so I was like, yeah, this is what I drive.
Yeah.
You might have seen me or some shit like that. And the
sure.
conversation just went on.
Okay.
We had a
And that was when
long
you
ass-
was, so you at that point, you was like, I'm okay with entertaining this. You felt like, okay, I'm past this milestone. We can talk.
Yeah. I was in a good
Got
place.
you. I really want to know, like, how the fuck did y'all get to a point where y'all was like, I want to see you again? Because at this point now, 8 years past, she in a serious relationship. And she real life focused on her dude. But to me, I guess the way you ran the story to me when I first heard it, I'm assuming that there's like a void there to where she's trying to see if it's something you can fulfill. Meaning, when I say void, meaning like there was something left there between y'all relationship and there's an itch that she needs to scratch. That's how it came off to me.
Yeah,
So
when we had that long conversation, I think we said everything we wanted to say.
Clear the fucking air.
Yeah, she was like,
it's amazing when you do that, right?
Yeah. She was like, I never stopped loving you.
Okay, so the truth came out.
Yeah, she's like, I told you that so you would leave me alone. She's like, I never stopped loving you, but I figured out a way to live my life without you.
Damn,
even though I still
that's
love
deep,
you.
dog.
Yeah.
Can you imagine though, like having all these motherfucking emotions for a dude and having to suppress that shit because of the shit you've been through with him? Like, we can't even imagine that because we normally causing the pain, but that's deep. Yeah. And then like so then the meetup happened. I'm assuming y'all decided to reconnect.
Yeah. She was like, I want to see you. I was like, all right, cool. And then, so the meetup happened. I ain't had no feelings at first.
Okay.
Then we kept meeting up. And all the feelings came back.
Okay, so when y'all reconnected, like, how did that meetup happen? Like, it was like how did that whole thing take place?
She was like, I want to see you since it's been so long. And I was like, all right, cool. So she came to my crib. We chopped it up, And at first, like, I ain't had no feelings toward her,
That's what I was wondering. Okay.
Yeah. And after we kept on meeting up, it's like the feelings went straight to how it was when we was together.
And unexpectedly, right?
Yeah,
you
yeah,
had
yeah.
no clue that it was about to rush you like a ton of bricks, right?
Yeah.
So what was your initial thought? Whenever them feelings came, was it like, because you talked about that, and the reason why I'm bringing this back up, because on the first episode you mentioned anxiety. Was there a feeling like, damn, I'm either going to entertain this shit, or I'm going to run from it? Or was it initially, if you with it, I'm fucking with it?
Yeah, because I was like, if I don't do this, I'm going to always be like, damn, what if I'd have did that, where would I be right now? Like, could it went somewhere? I would always have it in the back of my mind, if I'd did that, could it actually, how it would have took place.
Yeah. Okay. So whenever them feelings started coming back, how did you communicate that to her? Like, or did you even communicate it, or did she initiate it? Like, how did that go?
She initiated first. She was like, I didn't expect this to be like this. Yeah.
So this shit was mutual from jump.
Yeah,
like she told you she never stopped loving you, and you ran your shit like, yo, I feel the same on some shit, right? And it was like, okay. And then from there, like, y'all reconnected, and I'm assuming like all the entanglement shit took place, and that was when like you went through the situation where you like, okay, I'm here, like I'm fucking with you.
Yeah.
Did you feel like, honest? I want you to be honest here. Did you really feel like I got her back? Like, cause you know how that male ego fuck with us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got a chick, you get this second chance, you know what I'm saying? No matter what time in life it comes, and you like, damn, I'm trying to show you this time I'm different, right? And I know that was your anger, right? I'm trying to show you I'm different. Yeah. And then like you find out that it ain't no situation where it's like it's gonna go anywhere. Like what does that do to you when you got to that point where you like, damn, this ain't finna be nothing.
Yeah.
And I didn't allow myself to get back to this point. Like, what ran through your head through that whole cycle?
Well, she told me what it was from the jump. She didn't want to leave her dude. Okay. So, I never put my full heart into it, even though I did, the feelings was all there. So at the back of my mind, I was like, man, this might not think you, but I always had a plan for it to end.
Yeah, you knew how you was coming out of that.
Yeah.
You knew how you was coming out of it. Yeah. But so just really quickly, just like, so what was your plan for it? So did the plan come first? Did the plan come when she communicated to you that she not moving along? Like when she like, I really fuck with my dude, I'm not moving around. Did you initially kick the plan in at that point? Or you was like, I knew how this was going in from jump?
No, I had a plan to where her and her dude would end.
Okay, so you was plotting on homie being out the picture.
Yeah.
Oh, you was on some bold shit. Okay. So you was plotting on, okay, I'm back in the door.
Yeah.
I got all these feelings that came back, and she on some, okay, I never stopped loving you. So your psyche telling you, okay, this can work, right? And so you now plotting to get dude out the picture.
Yeah.
All right, we at that point. So how does she throw that curveball?
No, she didn't throw no curveball on that. I never told her what the plan was.
Okay, so that you kept that with yourself.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
My plan was, I tell the plan was, just to keep on going on with it, and eventually.
You gonna win her over?
Yeah, cause.
So you was on some ego shit.
Yeah, like that, and if you keep messing with a chick, that's how my mind frame was. If you keep messing with a chick, she got a dude. Eventually, she gonna get caught. Mm-hmm. And it's either he gonna leave her, or they gonna work it out.
Right. And you was okay with the he gonna leave her shit like that.
Yeah.
But you didn't expect, because y'all reconnected, and I want you to be honest out real quick. Did you expect that reconnect to like hit you like that? Or was you expecting that shit to be like, nigga, I'm your first love, you gonna rock with me. Like, keep it a buck with me. How you feel? Like, which way was you leaning?
Did I ever think she would leave him for me? That's what you're saying? No, kind of. I wanted to think that.
Okay.
Like thinking that was like, damn.
But you kept it real with yourself.
Yeah, but
Cool.
I kept it real with myself. Like, she got all this going on with that nigga.
Yeah.
And so it was always like 50-50.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it'll happen, maybe it'll not. But I never thought, nah, I'm gonna just take her back. Nah.
Okay. And then we got to the point where like you actually found out she not finna leave her dude. And what headspace that put you in ultimately like that? At that point, you like, I can't get the chick that I know, because I know me and you chopped it up. We've already talked it. So you and I know that this was your chick that you felt like was your forever chick, right?
Yeah.
So at that point when you like, my forever chick is gone, where did that take you from a headspace standpoint?
After it happened, after it ended?
Once you found out I ain't getting her back, she communicated now, she ain't coming back, like now it's sitting with you, what headspace were you in?
Honestly, like, it didn't really hurt me. It hurt, but it didn't hurt me like as bad as when she left me.
The first time?
Yeah,
got you. Did you ever get to a point where you just wanted to like, because you know, when we think about entanglements, it's an actual term that society uses now because of the whole Smith family and all, right? Like, did you ever get to a point where you felt like you could be all and want to tell it all? Or was you like, nah, I'm going to die with this shit, but I'm going to take it on the chin?
What you mean, tell it all as in?
I mean, like, not tell it all to the public, but like, come clean to like them. Like, did you feel like, fuck this, I'm about to go ahead and run this shit, and if I can't have you, nobody can have you. Or you was like, fuck it, I'm going to take it on the chin.
Oh, you talking about to her nigga?
Yeah, exactly. Like, exposing the entanglement.
Yeah. Man, I'd say, at first when I was like mad, the motherfucker, I was like,
yeah.
This when I text you about it. I text you about the situation.
Yeah.
And you was like, man, I don't know, man. It might not go the way you think. And like after the hurt, and I thought about it, like, man, that's some simple ass shit if I would do that.
Yeah.
And like, nah, I don't think I'd do shit like that.
I just want you to know, bro, like, we can't control how we feel, right? So, meaning that we're gonna put ourselves in situations and we're gonna go through shit in life, right? But the one thing that is hard to really control and it's almost probably impossible to control is an initial reaction, right? Yeah. So I wouldn't have judged you either fucking way. Because you know, when you hit me up on some shit and I told you I felt like it was some simp shit, like if you would have went with your move, I would have respected it because you acted off an emotion. Yeah. And we ain't fucking perfect. Like, so what if you did that? But I wanted you to also see that there's a flip side to this story. Yeah. Like, in your head, you looking at it like,
it's gonna end.
It's gonna end, and I'm gonna expose this shit, and then boom, she ain't gonna have no choice to rock with me. But I wanted to quickly paint that picture like, that's an option.
Yeah.
It's a real life option. But the other option to that shit If she can look at you like you the suck ass nigga and ha, you did all that shit and it still didn't break us up, right?
Yeah.
But like I said, I was gonna fuck with you regardless because it's a natural emotion. And you know, I appreciate you as your homie even coming to me just hollering at me about this shit and actually just chopping it up before you made that move because, you know, that's what we do. We bounce shit off of each other. We, you know, iron sharpens iron. Iron sharpens iron. Iron sharpens iron. I'm sounding retarded right now. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it was like, I can also see that growth because I know in the past, the nigga, you wasn't telling nobody. If it wasn't nothing positive or nothing funny or nothing uplifting, like you kept that shit tucked in. And I remember one time when, you know, you and I got deep before and I was like, bro, you can't keep, you know, you remember we had that talk, I was like, you can't keep that shit bottled in, like talk to somebody. You know what I'm saying? And it's great to see you at that point now. So that was an initial emotion. But I mean, and I'm gonna get off this shit, you know, after this question. But I do wanna just understand because I've never even took this conversation to this point. But as grown men right now, I just kind of want to pick your brain on, you know, you've been through this situation where you had a forever chick that you lost because of your own fucking mistakes and your savagery,
Yeah.
call it, right? And you lost her forever, basically, right? And you got to deal with that. But
to add on that, when you say I lost her forever, like she never made a decision to say she would pick me or him. She said she would never make a decision on that.
Okay, so she kind of wanted to let you know, hey,
She like I love both of y'all equally.
this is what I'm doing right now,
Yeah.
and there's no reason for me to come to the other side, basically. So the love is still there. Okay, respect.
Yeah,
so
she was like, she can't make that decision right now.
understood. Okay, and so y'all don't communicate now, though, right? How long has it been since y'all talked?
Couple years, I guess.
Okay, cool. Okay, so it's been a while. So my question now, what I was getting at is just like, from that situation when it ended to like right now, sitting in these chairs, right, chopping it up with your nigga, like what you take from that whole situation, like what you learned from it, like how did you become a better man from all that shit?
The biggest thing I learned from that is, if it's true love, it don't matter how long y'all haven't seen each other or how y'all talked, that if y'all reconnect, the feelings could come back just like it never left.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing I learned
It's a
from
real
that.
connection.
Yeah.
But the fucked up piece about it, right, is that timing piece, right?
Yeah.
So you can have a motherfucker, and that's what I tell people. I was like, man, you can meet the right motherfucker at the wrong time. But I'll go further now, listening to your situation. You can re-meet the right motherfucker at the wrong time.
Yeah.
And sometimes that wrong time mean that ship has sailed. And you got to take that on the chin as a man, right? But what I like about the growth aspect with you is that, like, you stand on that shit. Like, shit, I gave it a second chance, and I put my all in that shit, and it just didn't work out in my favor. Because what that does for you moving forward, bro, is like, now you can move forward with an actual way on how to love.
Yeah.
Like, you know what you can give to a relationship now. And I think from that point, that's the biggest lesson learned. So shit, kudos to you for that. I ain't gonna keep that. You know what I'm saying? My bad for putting you in the feelings early into this show and shit, but I had to get you there, bro. I really, that shit was on my mind, so I kind of wanted to pick your brain about it because I had thought about it for a while, and I thought it'd have been a dope situation to kind of have it, you know, with our people. So that was my angle.
Yeah. Since we speaking on entanglements and relationships, I'm about to take you there.
You about to return the favor?
Yeah.
Where we going? We going to college? You want to talk about high school?
Hell no.
You talking about my middle school relationship? I can run that all day.
We talking about grown man relationships, bro. Grown man.
Of course we are, but I'm just messing with you.
All right. So, well, we both know you was married.
For sure. Most people that fuck with me, I don't hide that.
And you went through a divorce.
For sure, I don't hide that at all.
And I was in your wedding. I went to your wedding in New York. And from the outside looking in, for me, it looked like you had the perfect marriage.
I got that shit a lot, bro.
Yeah.
I got that shit a lot. Yeah. Go ahead.
Like y'all could have been like the memes, like the relationship goals, like with Sierra and
so much. I got that shit so much.
Like Sierra and Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to ask you, like, what at what point did you see it going left? Was it a certain thing happen, or did you gradually go down?
So before I answer your question, I just want to go back when you said that it looked like we had the perfect marriage and all that. Like what I was showing to the public, that was real love at the time. Like I don't want that to be misconstrued on some fake shit, right? Like when I fuck with you, I'ma celebrate you, and I'm not throwing in your face. You know, I'm not gonna be overzealous with it, or I'm not gonna just be on some braggadocious shit. But you gonna know I rock with my female, right? And so I can understand why people was on the outside looking in, window shopping, like, them. I'm trying to be like Caleb and his ex-wife, right? Because you know they taking trips together. He confided in her. He open on social media about how he feel about her, right? You know, he rocking with her. You know, he do all the kinky shit. He grabbing her ass on camera. Like, I'm do all that, right? Because at that point in our relationship, I was fucking with her like that. Yeah. But to get to your initial question, like when it wasn't a thing that just happened where it was like, I ain't fucking with you no more, because I'm not a quitter. Yeah. Excuse me, I'm not a quitter, right? So I don't jump to those conclusions. Like what I do is like we go through shit and I identify, you know, shit, and then I'm gonna talk about it. Like, you know, like if it's something that bothers me or something that I think that needs to like, you know, better our relationship, you know, I'm gonna talk about it. But it was like, for me and her, it was a situation where it was like a clash of personalities, right? Yeah. And a lot of times I get the question like, but you ain't know that going in, right? Because people be like, everybody show you who they are initially, and you didn't catch that. And it wasn't like she was on no fake shit. It was just like we both knew how to put our best foot forward all the time until we got to that ultimate goal. So like a lot of times when we first met, I met her in 2009. I moved to New York right after I graduated, right? Just to get a backstory. And we were working at a summer camp together. And I'll be honest with you, bro, like I was the nigga from the South that was, you know, if anybody's ever been to New York, it ain't a friendly soul around that bitch. Keep it a buck with you. Like niggas don't want to speak to you. You know what I'm saying? Niggas just trying to get to where they trying to go. Niggas ain't saying hi and bye. And like for me, when I first touched down in New York, you know me. How you doing, ma'am? How you doing, miss? Hey, beautiful. How you doing? But I'm really just speaking, right? Yeah. So I was different, and I think she took to that personality, right? I'm super confident. I'm a person that just, you know, I believe in myself, and I'm a kick it with everybody. So initially, she took to that personality, but then as she got closer to me, she always would say, man, nigga, you think you smell yourself, you think you hot shit, right? Yeah. So she was trying not to like me, right? But then when I finally got her, that was that chase I talked about in the first episode. Like I was chasing her. It was like, okay, she ain't trying to show me that attention, but I need to make sure she see this shit. So I was chasing her. When I finally got her, that connection came instantly. You know what I'm saying? But then there was traits that I saw in the marriage. I mean, well, not the marriage yet, in the relationship, where it was like, you popping off at the tongue a little reckless right now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You jumping on some angry shit for no reason. Like it ain't nothing. Cool. We in a restaurant, for example, and like, you know how we are from the South, right? Like, prime example, right? It was like, waitress come back, you know, I had asked for something. I don't remember what it was, right? Just to give you an example. And she comes back with whatever I asked for. And I was like, yo, I appreciate you, sweetheart. Thank you. That turned into a problem at dinner. Yeah. Don't fucking call nobody else sweetheart in front of me like that. And I'm trying to explain to her, like, I'm from the South. That's really just a term of endearment, you know? So it was like I started peeling back layers and seeing stuff. Was that a problem that can't be fixed? No. Did I run from her because of that? Hell no. But it's like, you know, that just, like examples like that, start seeing things like, okay, boom, don't say sweetheart no more. Yeah. Don't address a female like that no more. Like I'm starting to program myself. That was when you was married she did that? Oh, yeah. Like engagement and marriage. Relationship, engagement, marriage. I don't remember the timeline if we were married or not, but like we were committed. We were committed, and it was evident that we were moving towards something serious, right? Okay. And so the timelines in terms of all that happened that was 7 years ago when we first connected, 9 years ago when we first connected. Yeah. So I don't remember the timeline, but like those instances would pop up, right? And it was like, damn, I got to start changing this. You know, I got to start changing that. And then gradually it's like, to make you happy, I got to be a shell of myself. Yeah. And I got to a point where I just couldn't live with that shit no more. So to answer your initial question, it wasn't a thing that was like, boom, I just can't fuck with you no more. It was like, okay, all this shit is making me change who the fuck I am. And while I'm waking up trying to fake a smile, you waking up happy because I'm giving 95% of that energy to your happiness and dumping my shit down.
That's deep,
And the fucked up part that I didn't do, and that's why I love my growth now, is because I wanted to avoid confrontation with her, I suppressed all that shit. Yeah. I suppressed it all, you know what I'm saying? Like I just lived with that shit. And like I felt like a weak ass nigga. Like looking back on it now, I felt weak as fuck because I was pleasing somebody and changing myself in the process just for that person's happiness. And a relationship ain't gonna never work in that standpoint.
Do you think you ever love anyone as much as you loved her?
In the past, have I loved anybody in the past? Like before?
No, do you think you love anyone from now on as much as you love?
Can I love somebody?
Yeah, as much as you love your ex-wife.
For sure. Because I loved her the wrong way. And I guess I'll elaborate on that. So I just went through the spiel about how I approached our relationship, right? In terms of like trying to cater to her 100%. And to me, that was like, I was such a happy wife, happy life type of dude that it was like I took that shit to the extreme, right? And like, I don't know like how most people run their marriages. I don't care. Yeah. That's not my thing to dig into. For me, it was like, yeah, happy wife, happy life, but you also have to make sure your partner is good in that space too. And the reason why I didn't fault her for making sure that I was good in that space is because I did a great job of hiding that shit like I was already good. So how you check on somebody that you already assume that he's straight, right? You know, Caleb can carry the fucking world. You know what I'm saying? Don't shit get to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, my nigga got me. Like, you know what I'm saying? He said, whole time I'm dealing with this shit and I'm too afraid to mention it to her because I'm trying to sleep peaceful at night. It wasn't nothing about afraid in terms of what she gonna do to me, but it's like I ain't trying to go to sleep with this negative energy on me and have to wake up and deal with this shit. Yeah. So to me, the easiest thing to do was just put that shit to the side and make sure she was straight. And I promise you that's the biggest mistake I made in my marriage, bro. Instead of coming out and telling her, look, I ain't fucking with that. You know, because when I got to that point with stepping with her, it's because I was fed up. Yeah. Then she was like, oh shit, like I need to make some changes. And then a lot of times she tried to make them changes, like I'm straight on you. Yeah. But yeah, absolutely. Like I'm gonna love somebody harder than I loved her because now I know how to communicate. I know how to feel shit. I know how to express shit. And I'm not afraid to kind of just take it there. Like, it's like, I'm gonna give you me now and you gonna fuck with it and we gonna rock with it 100%, or you gonna choose not to. Yeah. You feel me?
I got one last question for you. You might want to get some tissue, bro.
Man, stop that shit.
Nah, but me being your bro and knowing how much I know you and how much you want a kid, I want to know, how did that feel? How did that hurt feel when you found out that your ex-wife was pregnant?
Bro, that took me there, if I'm being real. So when we went through the process of like once, so the way this shit happened was like, all right, I was suppressing shit so well that, you know what I'm saying, she was carrying on about her life. She's like, Caleb mentioned this issue, but it's nothing. He don't really be tripping, right? So to her, I'm gonna carry on with our conversations on, okay, this is what we need to save to get our house, and I'm ready to have a kid now. I'm finna get our birth control. So that was our conversations, right? Yeah. It was like, okay, boom, baby, we finna buy this house, and we finna work on having this baby now, right? And on one side of me, I was excited as fuck, right? But then I looked at her like damn, I'm really finna enter into this, I'm finna make the biggest purchase of my life, and I'm finna have the biggest responsibility of my life with a chick that I look at sometimes and be like, I don't even know if this long term, right? Yeah. So at that point, it was like, nah, Caleb, you can't do that. So it woke me up. It was like, now you gotta come clean. So I was like, yo, we finna put all this shit on pause. Like, we ain't in a great space. And I started opening up to intelligence. So like, what I did was I was like, we got to, and then, you know, once I told her we was gonna put things on pause, we was trying to work things out. And then I went on a trip. So, and I'll tell you what happened. Like, so what happened was I went on a trip, and It was All-Star Weekend, matter of fact. It was remember the All-Star Weekend in New Orleans?
Yeah.
So I went on a trip. So before the All-Star Weekend in New Orleans, I went to Marksville. And while I was in Marksville, I was kicking it with the bros, all the homies. Azelle and all of them. We was at my pop's house. We were smoking, drinking, doing our shit, just enjoying ourselves. And an old fling decided to text my phone, right? And I'm so faded, I entertained the shit. Just entertain text messages. Like, I ain't go see her or none of that shit. It wasn't no, go pull up, no kissing, no fuck. I didn't cheat in that way. It was no infidelity. But we had conversations, and absolutely, from a marriage standpoint, those text messages were inappropriate. Yeah. But the next day I called that shit out. Like, yo, my bad, I'm fucked up. Like, this ain't, this shit ain't lit. I apologize. What happened was when I got back from All-Star Weekend, she saw the shit in my phone because I got back, she looked at the phone, right? Yeah. Cool. So, and then like when she started asking them questions, it was like she was going off about that shit, and then that was the opportunity where I was like, I came clean about all kind of shit, right? Yeah. And then at that point, I was like, yo, I'm gonna dip for 2 weeks because I don't even know if I want this marriage, right? I was already checked out.
What you mean dipped?
I moved out.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely, I moved out, found my own apartment. I told her 2 weeks, but it was like, if we would have made it work, she was gonna move back in the apartment I had because I was already tired of our living arrangements, right? She was just gonna move into this new apartment and go from there. But if it didn't work, then cool, you know what I'm saying? And then after those 2 weeks, I hit her like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't coming back or whatever. Like, I just don't see this working. And like, I would rather tell you this now before we buy a house and get a kid. And so you can go find your happiness and I can work on me and go from there. Cause I really spent them 2 weeks talking to God, bro, and just talking to myself and really analyzing what the fuck I need in a woman. And when I lined that shit up versus who the fuck I knew she was, like, it was night and day in terms of the match, bro. And I'm like, how the fuck do I get to this point to where I'm in a whole marriage, right? And there's this whole disconnect and this distance between the way we connect with each other, right? And I'll tell you how that shit happened. It's like that lust stage rode that fucking wave. Because I tell people all the time, like, bro, like, you ain't really in love with somebody till you deal with some shit. You just mentioned earlier that we looked like we was just a perfect couple, right? That was all the great shit. So boom, that ride y'all saw, we on this fucking high, right? And then poof, right? And then it's okay, how you come back from that? So you working like you got your ups and downs now. Yeah. And when we was in them ups and downs was when I realized, I can't really fuck with her like that. So after that 2 week shit happened, I told her that shit, told her I wasn't coming back. And then I don't know how that shit took place in terms of her pregnancy, but what fucked me up the most about it, bro, was that it didn't come from her. So like, I'm scrolling online, and her friend sending her congratulations on the baby. Like shortly after, it wasn't long after, shortly after, our divorce and shit happened, she got this whole belly poked out, and her friend online, like, congratulating her. So I screenshot that shit, and I genuinely sent her congratulations, but I sent it from a hurt place. So like,
I know
like,
it had to hurt.
Man, fuck me up, dog. Yeah. Like, and because me and you, we talk about kids. I'm 35 years old, and I was at a point where I was like, I had a point in my life where I didn't know if I could have children. Like, I was that nervous with it. I'm like, damn, I need to get checked. I need to make sure I can have children. And, I had no clue. So being in that headspace and seeing her pregnant, man, when I tell you, like you might on the first episode you talking about Savage Jeremy come out. Yeah. Man, I went down this fucking downward spiral that you wouldn't believe. Like on some tender shit, on some savage shit, on some I'm finna get my hurt back on every bitch I run into now. Yeah. You feel me? Because I was suppressing shit. So for 6 months I didn't even deal with that pain. I suppressed it because I didn't want to feel it. I sent her the congratulations. She knew I was hurt or whatever, but she kind of just let it slide. And I had to look. I remember at nights I'd be laying in my bed looking at this picture, bro. Yeah. And then after that, I'm swiping on Tinder trying to find somebody to slide up, right? Because that's my get back in my head. But it didn't do. That's everybody get. It didn't do nothing but hurt me, like, because I got to a point to where I was super wilding, bro. Where you and I talked about a situation where it was like I took it too far. Mm-hmm. And the beautiful thing about going too far though, bro, is like it wakes you the fuck up. So at that point, when I woke up, when I knew, because when she had her baby, at that point I was like, we done. Like I wouldn't be able to come back from you getting pregnant and me now having to take care of somebody else's child when we was in a marriage, and that was the ultimate goal, right? Yeah. So I was done with that. Boom, okay, now I'm done with that. Okay, now how do I get out of this situation in my head to where I can now not try to be this fucking sex addict, right? Because let's call a spade a spade. That's exactly what I went to. At that time, I wasn't smoking weed like I do now. And, I wasn't meditating at all. I wasn't a spiritual person. I wasn't drinking heavy like that. It was just like, all right, I'm finna be a savage this way. So I had a 6-month span where I wanted to come out of that fucking situation, but I didn't know how. And then I had the situation with the white girls I told you about. And I looked over that next morning, I was like, yo, I'm tripping. Right? And at that point, I went celibate for a year. And in that year is when I found God and my spirituality, but in a different way that I had him before. Like that connection with God from that point was real. Yeah. It was me talking to the big homie at this point. It wasn't no church saving me. It wasn't no pastor saving me. It was a one-on-one connection. And that's where the meditation came from that y'all saw with the changes. That was the whole motivation when I was telling people, yo, you can come out of anything you need to. So I saw myself evolving into this person. Yeah. And then once I came on the other side of that, my whole goal, and that's what my goal is today, is just give that game to the people who struggle like me, because I ain't the only person that went through a divorce, you know what I'm saying, and had to pull themselves out of it. And sharing my story helps somebody else, bro. Yeah. So that's why I'm so vocal with the divorce. That's why I'm so cool with talking about it, because I went through a bunch of shit, but then on the other end of that was a beautiful soul was birthed, right? Yeah. And it took a while. Yeah.
I'm glad you're in a better place now, though. But
sure, man.
Yeah. But the one last thing I want to say, going back to my situation with the whole entanglement situation, you asked, how did I feel after the whole thing? The reason why I didn't feel as hurt as when she left me, because I told her, I was like, you leaving me, my biggest fear was that you never realized how much I love you, all that shit I did. And since I had this chance to show you how much I love you.
You can live with that.
I can live with that.
I fucks with that. Yeah. And we're gonna leave it right there, bro. Yeah. We're gonna leave it right there. Yeah. No, I didn't know we was gonna go this deep, but I'm having fun, having this conversation with you, because I know I learned some shit about that situation today that I had no clue about, and I hope, what I'm saying, because I know what I'm saying, our partner LaVar, a few of y'all had questions about my marriage, but for whatever reasons it never came up. So I hope you learned some shit about that. But that's why you see a completely different Caleb, because I know sometimes when y'all first was trying to fuck with me, you're like, man, who this new nigga is, right? Y'all had to learn how to kick it with me again, right? Because I'm different. Now I'm isolated. Now I want to kick it with myself. Now I want to read books. Now I want to do all this shit. But yeah, I'm glad that we sat down and really had a real conversation where we learned it from each other today, man. So this has been a perfect second episode.
Perfect, man. Perfect.
I really enjoyed this shit. This wine got me feeling nice. So, I'm going to go ahead and we're going to wrap it up there, bro. Hey, listen. I'm KP, man. This is Smooth of the Certified Steppers Podcast. Listen, if you haven't already, make sure you like, share, subscribe this this channel, and we hope y'all enjoy this conversation, man. We just wanted to show y'all a vulnerable side of us, because we, like I said in the first episode, we real people who deal with real shit, bro. And I hope that whoever's listening to this podcast can take something positive from it and can leave this video with something positive to move forward in y'all relationship. Right, man, right. We the Certified Steppers. I'm KP, this Smooth, and we out. Yeah.
Yo. You be with them steppers, huh? But you can't step with us. Niggas swear they certified steppers, but don't step enough.